Hey gang, welcome to another edition of Doc Schlock's review of this ongoing, never ever seem to slow down, stop, or ever quit franchise series of really bad sequels. Wrong Turn 6, Last Resort. Well, the movie starts off with a couple of bikers, and you pretty much know what happens to them. They were kind enough to kind of make a Roman numeral-like formation to kind of put in underneath the title of this movie. So then we have Danny, Tony, Brian, Jillian, Vic, Rod, and Charlie. Sounds like a bunch of people who just doing a really corny, bad variety show. They're going to the Hot Springs Resort, where they meet up with Sally and Jackson. And wouldn't you know it, our old friends Three Finger, One Eye, and Sawtooth are also there. In fact, they're the cooks. And if you've seen this series of movies, you know what's on the what's on the menu. So it's pretty much what you guess. They do everything that is almost inhuman and impossible to do to another human being. Jackson is the only one of the group who gets his, and it looks like Tony might be able to get away, but unfortunately she doesn't. So for some weird reason, Danny decides to become the caretaker of the place. And he decides to celebrate being the caretaker with Sally, if you get my drift. This movie starred... I have no idea. So why did this movie suck? Why did the other five suck? Okay, I'll take that back. Wrong Turn. I can now say this whole series so far has been almost like a headache. That is like the first one is a mild one, the second one was a pretty bad one, and then as the sequels continue going on and on and on and on and on, it's like the headache would get bigger and bigger and bigger, and would be so much more difficult to get rid of. That's the best way I can describe this franchise. And the sad thing is, from what I've read, I don't know if it's true or not, they're working on a Wrong Turn 7. This is a franchise that I cannot recall ever going through an entire horror movie franchise of movies saying that they all sucked. Maybe I did. I've slept since then, folks. I don't know. But this is just... These movies are awful. I'm sorry. I'm just not a fan of these movies. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, at least there were, I can say there's probably maybe 2 or 3 I didn't care much for. But in this series, which I've often called this to some of my friends, basically, well, like I said, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, only far worse, just no chainsaws. This has been a bad series of movies going on. I mean, there were a few critics who liked this movie. Somebody said that it was a slight improvement from the last ones, and I'm going... And I'm thinking, like, yeah, that's like saying that... that's like saying The Human Centipede 3 was better than Part 2. No. They got worse as they went along too. But this movie had some of the worst take 'em out scenes. And some stuff. A fire hose was involved, and I sat there and I said, "That is the stupidest." I'm sorry. And you know something? I may sit here and say I don't want to review the Wrong Turn movies ever again, but I'll bet you anything, and I imagine you guys can probably feel it. Number 7 comes along, I will definitely check it out and review it sometime after it comes out if I can find it. But there you guys have it, a review of Wrong Turn 6: Last Resort. Sorry for rambling on like this, but my God, where are they going to go to next? Space? No, don't do that. If you like my videos, always feel free to subscribe. If you got a horror, sci-fi horror, comedy horror, fantasy horror movie that just never wanted to seem to stop and kept giving you more and more bad sequels, send it my way and I will get on it ASAP. Thank you guys so very, very much for watching. And until next time, as always, stay strong and rock on.